Hello and welcome to the SC Playbook podcast out of NRL Supercoach Finals Week 2, proudly brought to you by Mortgage Choice SCW. I'm your host, Tim Williams. The first week of Supercoach Finals is in the bag. It's fast, it's furious, moves quick. Spy, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Started the finals well, but more importantly, what a weekend of footy. It was just
Wow.
everything we hoped it would be and more, except obviously the result for the milk. But in terms of footy itself, well, it was up
Mate, great weekend of footy. I've been absolutely demoralised. For those of you that don't listen to the Bloke in the Bar podcast, went down to the Capital on Saturday. Brother Sambo, Queanbeyan Roos, grand final, heading for the treble. Led by 8 with 8 minutes left. In the crowd, we're going bonkers. Sam, little show and go, set up try. With 8 minutes to go, you've gone home. 2 tries conceded in the last 8 minutes. The last one with 30 seconds to go. Kicked after the siren, won it. Gone, lost that one. No worries. Redemption at GEO Stadium, Bruce Stadium on Sunday. Raiders had it won 3 times. How good's this? Hooting and hollering. Boom, had that ripped out of us as well. Mate, great spectacles. Awful results on the personal side.
could not have gone worse. Like, sport can be bad. This was all-time scripted to be as bad as it could possibly be results-wise. Obviously for yourself as a Canberra fan, but for Sambo as well. Speaking of little bro, is he all right? Because I'm still yet to hear from him.
Look, you don't talk to him after a loss like that. And as a captain coach, I think it's probably the most personal loss he's ever had in his career. So I'm just going to give him a week or two to cool down and just chat to him then. Maybe a few messages to ease into it.
I've left a voicemail and a text, but yeah, we'll leave him be.
You'll get a response in a month. Also with us today, as always, Matty, the Waterboy. Matty, how are you, mate?
Oh, I'm fine. I don't have a skin in the game anymore. That's the good thing about going for a bottom 4 team. Once September comes along, you can just enjoy yourself.
That actually sounds outstanding. After what we put up with on the weekend, just being neutral across the board would have been lovely.
Like, I was riding Canberra because I'm going for Canberra now. I was more devastated than for that game than pretty much any South result all year bar the last game against the Roosters. I don't even care. I don't even go for the Raiders. I can't even imagine how you felt. And I can't imagine because I listened to you yesterday and it was
Took it well.
It wasn't entertaining. Like, I didn't get joy out of it, but it was, I don't know how to put it, but it was obvious.
Yes.
You're hurt.
Yeah, I'm hurting.
Worth noting as well, I missed Sambo's grand final because I was moving house, but we're in as of last night. So it's been a very hectic few weeks, but nice to be in. And something else happened, actually. I know we don't talk betting on this show too much, but it is a bit of a funny story. I was actually going to message you and Sam about this, but as I'm just staying away for the moment, I had a $20 bonus bet through the greats at BetBuzz, and it was Karapani to score over 55 points. Sometimes that'd be a points fest.
Yeah.
And Raiders 1-12. And I'd nearly cashed out $500 3 times. I came out with nothing.
Oh my goodness. Thought you were home.
I was honestly going to take it straight out and put it towards Magic Round. Not to be.
This Magic Round, kitty, it's still pretty dry, isn't it, mate? You don't have much luck there.
Gee, well, scooters cost about 14 a pop, and I drink about 100, so that's already 1,000.
Spy, well done on the new rental, mate. We're all stoked for you on that one. What about the Supercoach side? How'd you go there?
985, and
Woo.
I mean, who needs Nathan Cleary, really, at the end of the day?
I got no Cleary.
I told you I wasn't.
Well, I'd
Phone the
forgotten
Warriors.
it.
Yeah.
Where did you go, Jamal?
You bagged me saying I'd fold. Nah, Sammy Walker.
So you'd be leading if you went Cleary
Probably,
over Sammy Walker. Yeah.
Except I may not have VC'd Walsh. Maybe I would have VC'd Cleary.
Don't try and twist it. Your halfback got 60 points less than the bloke I told you to get.
40 less.
What did Sammy Walker get?
46.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, good start though, mate. What do you ranked?
3K. So we'll build on that this weekend. Obviously, a bit of allegiance to Canberra and then probably the Dogs. I might try to lean that way, but we'll see how we go. I'm up top bit. I'll start to get a bit competitive again.
Your little pod strategy is going to change very quickly.
We'll see how we go come the weekend.
We'll see about that. For myself, 50,000 entrants, which is awesome for week 1 of finals. Yeah, so good. I am 11,000th overall with 933 points, so really happy with that start. My team all went off, and I was like, God, 11,000, that's a bit rough. And then I was like, all the big dogs went off. More on that shortly.
Who was your skipper?
I had Payne Haas, skipper, VC, Cleary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because skippers are
huge.
Skippers and VCs are going to win it. Like
Yeah.
it's because it's trebled and doubled.
Yeah.
So
but
really
like,
that's where it's
I
at.
think the leader overall was 1080 or something. He was about 15, 20 clear of second, so he has sizzled. So not far off the mark, and happy with where it is to get things going. 3 tons in my team. Ethan Strange scored 61. He dropped out as my flex. Like, that's the big dogs delivered, put it that way.
Huge.
Matty the Waterboy, you went good, but not that good.
I got 3 points less than you.
Yeah.
Timmy. So
Embarrassing.
congratulations on your first win of the week.
Needed it.
Nah, so I did sit here and sprout last week that I was going to vice captain Ethan Strange and captain Casey McLean. Now, a few days is a long time in rugby league, and by the time the game started, I completely reversed on that decision. I was not going to captain Casey McLean. I ended up just captaining Nathan Cleary, vice captain Walsh, which was fantastic. But yeah, I ended up on 930, which I don't know what my rank is. I actually don't know how to. I don't know how to find it because every time I click
Go to the
home,
homepage.
every time I click home, it takes me back to the normal Supercoach. So I'm just going to assume I'm 12,000th if you're 11,000.
Go to NRL home. Anyway, mate, you've got about half an hour to work that out. We'll find out.
Oh, 12,120. There you
That
go.
was tricky. So there you go. You're 1,000 spots behind me, and it was 3 points.
Can I say something? Because normally when I go to a homepage of a website, I like to click the top left logo, and that's what I usually do. I didn't realize you actually had to click home for this one. So
That's all right, mate.
Yeah, that's
You're off
that's
the
okay.
hook.
Yeah, another lesson learned for next year. Alrighty, guys. The Unlimited League winner at SC Playbook, Reese's Pieces. Very topical. Coached by Ryan. Topped the SC Playbook Unlimited League, 1,065 points. It is the last week to join that one. Entries will close at the back end of this week before it all starts. $500 up for grabs. Code to that one, 729134. On today's show, Team List Tuesday, Supercoach pointers, shuffles and mind games at the Doggies. Matty Burton gets shifted. Stephen Crichton named on the extended bench. So it'd be 1,000,000 to 1, but it is interesting. We'll go position by position once again about who to buy and who to avoid, and then drop our captaincy plans for the week. Guys, as you know, SC Playbook, NFL and EPL, they've arrived. All the same gun content on your website, weekly podcasts, recorded from studio, the WhatsApp group with late mail and team news, community and contributor-only groups, all the same as the NRL. Importantly, though, with all the cluster of content across the sports now at SC Playbook, NFL, EPL, NRL and cricket, they've all got their own YouTube channels, their own Spotify, Apple channels, their own social media channels. So if you want to check them out, subscribe, like, whatever it is to all of them individually. Now, Spy, a quick reminder with Supercoach finals going into week 2. If you're picking a team this week for a bit of fun, it is 8 players per week. Your flex is included. So you get your top 7 scoring players, 1 from each position. This week into week 2 of the finals with only 2 games on deck, it's max 3 players from each team. That is for this weekend next. Captains get 3 times multiplier. Vice captains 2 times multiplier. There are no player prizes, so you get the best player that you think will score well that week, and your team resets each week. Rapid recap, Spy, of last weekend. Now, I sat here 7 days ago and said, I don't think that this year's winner will go with a template team. You're going to have to make a few little point of difference, some pod moves in there somewhere. Not the whole team, but a few of them to get tricky. As far as week 1 goes, I was wrong. So 6 of the top 10 most owned players were in the top 10 scorers. Walsh was 1, Eli Katoa 3, Haas 4, Marky Mark 5, Hudson 6, Munster 8. Add on top of that, Nathan Cleary was 15, Teddy was 17. The only 2 in the top 10 most owned last week, Brayley and Grant, they're a bit further back. They scored 69 and 63. The big dogs delivered.
They did. Stepped up in real footy, and it's translated across the board. Did we say? What did you say? Cleary was owned. He would have been high owned.
He was about 85.
Yeah.
by the
So
end of it.
this is where I think the logic comes in around captaincies. If you would have, a lot of people would have captained Nath, I imagined. So if you would have flipped to Walsh as a pod skipper in his current form, what do you score? Another 45 points or something? Triple that. That's 150 points.
Yeah, boom.
So that's where it's at.
So, as a quick recap, but of the blokes who slotted in and amongst the most owned players, Tony Starks, 111, Shibasaki, 95, Big Stefano, Udakamanu, 90, Billy Walters, 89, Will Warbrick, 88, Jamal Fogarty, 87, and King Kiraz, 87 as well. Now, Spy Team List Tuesday, not a heap in here. Raiders v Sharkies, week 2 of finals, 7:50pm in the capital at the Raiders. Look, they're 1-17, nothing new there. Over at the Sharkies, not too much either. Britton Nikora on the bench again. The only potential sort of movement here would be Tommy Hazelton named in the 21 jump. I missed out due to injury last week. If Hazelton comes in, which if fit, you'd think he probably would on the bench, especially up against that Canberra pack. Nikora to the back row in place of Billy Burns. Burns drops out. It'd be harsh on Burns, who stayed there last week and went well, but I'm thinking they're going to want a big pack going up against the Raiders.
Could Wilton go? Just on the back of Burns' form. Like, Wilton's rock solid, but...
Huge spy.
Yeah, I don't know if Billy plays on the left, but I was talking to someone. One of the boys said a few weeks ago, like, oh, it's not good for Nikora. Almost just ha-ha laughing. Yeah. But I was like, maybe it's not good for Wilton, but we'll find out come Saturday night.
No. Billy Burns. Billy Burns would drop out, not T. Wilton. Anywho, the next game...
Doesn't matter because we have team lists.
Well, yeah, Supercoach-wise, it doesn't matter. We're just having a bit of a yarn, mate. Doggies and Panthers, Sunday, 4:05 p.m. out at Accor Stadium. At the Doggies, some movement here. Now, Stephen Crichton is out. It's caused a major reshuffle. Matty Burton named at centre with Crichton. Crichton's on the extended bench. I would assume he's not going to play, and there's some just playing a few mind games there against his old club. Toby Sexton comes in and starts at halfback. Mate, like Reid Marnie onto the bench. They're the major sort of movements there. And at the Penrith Panthers... Again, not much. I think they're 1-17 as well. Mitch Kenny's on the extended bench. Again, not going to change too much. How do you see this doggy sort of stuff playing out? Sexton in, Burton to centre. Big moves for an elimination finals game. Yeah,
well, I thought the halves of Sexton and Galvin were outstanding. Especially as a combination, they just suit each other really well. I think Burton's a phenomenal centre, and he did all their long kicking anyway, so you don't lose that out. I think if Crichton's out and they're not confident in another centre coming in, they probably don't have any left at the moment. That's fine. What it does say...
So Marcello Montoya's on the extended bench as well. Whether or not he's going to play,
Bronson Sherry back?
Sherry's back.
So one of them's going to play on the right is the issue because they're both left side centres.
I think it's going to be Sherry.
Burton has to be left, I think. Especially for his kicking game because he basically plays like a hybrid halfback. 5'8" centre.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but I think Sexton and Galvin look good together. Burton will still play that hybrid role and do the kicking and whatnot. Use his big frame to run the footy. It should be an absolute belter.
As an odd that one on the weekend when the idea of what they've done a few times this season, we saw on the weekend that a centre goes off injured. It's been a few weeks in a row, and your 5'8" moves, you hold everything changed. The week before was your hooker moved, and Bailey Hayward I think went into 5'8". It's ridiculous, but. When Sexton came on off the bench last week, the reality is they looked a better team. So
played well. Yeah, they were pretty close to winning that one.
Can't wait to see how it plays out this weekend. Go the Doggies. Alrighty, guys, a reminder that even if you do tune out, once the NRL content takes a break for a small patch in the off-season and you decide you want to see how you're placed to get into the housing market, guys, reach out to Paddy and his team at Mortgage Choice SCW. You might be sitting pretty in a position to buy your first home, or you might be even close to it. There's only one way to find out where you're at, and that's to get in contact with Mortgage Choice SCW. Normally, that'd sting you $129, but mention SC Playbook across the entire off-season when you reach out, and it'll be free of charge. Flick them a message on Instagram, mortgagechoice_SCW, or give them a call on 02 9521 1611, wherever you're based in Australia. Now, Spike, we're going to go position by position as per last week and just assess them all, basically. And teams have just come out, really. We're recording not long after 4 o'clock, and you're going to pick your team on the fly because
I am.
You can't pick it until the team's dropped anyway. I threw a team together prior anyway, and not too many major tweaks since TLT. But we'll start at the top in the hooking position, and some would argue it's a battle in one. I would say it's a battle in two. Blake Brayley is the obvious one. He's the 80-minute man. Tommy Starling is the left field one. He was exceptional last week. How much is that game taken out of him? If it's taken a bit extra out of him, does Owen Paddy, who's fresh, to get a few extra minutes in the back end of this game? What are your thoughts, mate? Is it just locking Blake Brayley? He comes up against the Raiders middles, who are very good defensively. Or do you go for a little bit of a flyer on Tommy Starling?
I think Blake picks himself. Yeah. In saying that, Starlo played all the way through to the 84th or something on the weekend. I think that's right. So obviously Sticky is happy to really stick with him out there.
If he's good, he wants to play in big minutes. He said all season, essentially all season, especially in bigger games.
Yep.
Tommy's spent a lot of time on the field.
Owen doesn't have to come on the field.
No,
he's there as an option, but maybe Starling plays big minutes. I don't hate the Starling flyer. You just flyer, but you are playing with fire
Yes.
if Paddy happens to come on and play 25. But as far as pods go, if Starling was to grab an attacking stat, he could go well, but Brayley's one of the form hookers and players of the comp, so happy to still lock him in.
Like, I know he had the extra minutes and he played 84 minutes on the weekend, so you take that into consideration. But 79 points on the weekend, Starlo, and in that, I think it was only one line break, which is the only major attacking stat, so we know he's got it in him. Terrific running game, as is Blake Brayley. Look, Blake Brayley's the obvious one, but anyone that wants to go Tom Starling, I have no major knock on it there. Front row forward, mate. No Payne Haas this week. Opens it up a little bit. Joe Tarpany, he's going to be a popular option of 67 points last week. A few others in the position. Isaiah Papali'i was great last week, but limited minutes probably scare you off him a little bit. Corey Horsburgh's an option. Lindsay Smith is an option there. You could go and add in Fanua Blake against the Raiders. They're probably the heavy hitters there. I'd only be looking elsewhere outside of those. Who takes your fancy?
Yeah, I'm thinking, obviously Tarpany's right up there. I'm half thinking about Fanua Blake, just because he could score a try. And if you can bag a meat pie, he played 60 minutes last weekend. It's a knockout game. He could play big minutes if he can score a try. I reckon he's not a bad Supercoach selection for Fanua Blake. And look, obviously I don't want him to score against Canberra. It's not to win, but in saying that, you can only have a couple from each team. Is it 3 from each team, I think, this round? So
3 from each team. Said that earlier, mate. Glad you tuned in.
I wasn't listening.
That's right.
So I might go for Fanua Blake as a little bit of a pod play, but Tarpany would be the other option there.
Yeah, I'm thinking Joe Tarpany in that one. I just think another massive game, fresh off the Meninga medal for a third or fourth time on the trot. He will, I assume, probably be the most owned front rower, but I'm thinking Taps. Matty, over you, mate. Hooker, is it straight Blake Brayley, front row, Taps the popular one, go elsewhere? What do you think?
You know what? Like, I reckon Starling is a risk, but I reckon it's like the lowest possible risk.
Yeah.
I'd be more than comfortable picking Brayley. I think it comes down to numbers. Not comfortable picking Brayley, comfortable picking Starling. Brayley is the obvious one. But yeah, like, I probably wouldn't pick... Like, I'm probably more likely to pick Brayley because I'm probably more likely to pick Tarpany than Adderfield Blake. And I'm certainly not going to stack my team with Sharks players. So, but I can, like, that's all options are fine there. All 4 of those players are great options. So, yeah.
Corey Horsburgh in the front row, a shout as well.
Yep.
Also available in the back row, 2RF, but he played pretty big minutes, and I think he's someone, he could be relied upon for those big minutes in a big game.
Big Taps for me. In the back row, mate, Hudson Young, again, will be very popular. 101 points, including a sin bin on the weekend. Scored a try, set one up. He was outstanding. Viliami kick out. Look, he's come back from injury, so that's probably, or not coming back from injury. Got injured, a little bit risky there, but, we know he can go big on his day. Isaiah Yeo, the old reliable. Zach Hosking's been flying, 69 points last week. 94 minutes for Zach Hosking, which is outstanding effort. There's a few options here. You could go your Teague Wilton sort of player. You could go Jacob Preston, one of your boys. Who do you like?
I think it's out of Hudson Young. Hosking is a flyer, but it's Yo or Young for me. I think I'll be going with Hudson because he was in some serious form last weekend. So heavily involved, just looking to get his hands on the footy, happy to try anything and everything. So Hudson will be my 2RF off the back of last week's ton.
I'm contemplating a little flex with 2 back rowers. A little bit boring, but I think, as I said last week, I think boring can work in Supercoach finals with better defences and whatnot. Now, Hudson Young, very hard to go past. Jacob Preston, your boy. I've got a few stats coming in shortly, more centred around the backline players, which we'll get to, and particularly the CT dubs. But the Penrith Panthers, they don't both edges are relatively solid defensively, no major weak links. But when you watch the game, mate, it's Blaze Talangi. 2 clear line breaks to him on the weekend. Tanner Boyd was one of them. That's where the doggies are going to go. One of the better line runners in the game in Jacob Preston. Very hard to tackle. Preston, a Blaze Talangi. I like it.
Always an option. Jacob Preston. He does have those games where he just bob out of 45 and it can frustrate you, but he's got upside. So if you want to chase him and you hope he can grab a
You saying
try.
To my players, especially when I throw out a bit of a left field pod, always an option, never a good sign of your confidence.
I just would rather play someone in the night game. I think it's interesting this weekend, right?
In the night game? Why?
Because it's Raiders Sharks. Penrith
the
Doggies.
fixture as opposed to
this week in the night game. And it's interesting because the attacking game is the night game this weekend.
I agree.
whereas the defensive orientated clash is the day game, which that might be enough to see that have points in it though. I think it just could be a battle of wills on Sunday, Arvo. You don't quite know yet. So
I agree, less points.
I just think that's why I'm a bit worried about a Preston. Whereas if you can get an Isaiah Yeo, you know he'll work his ass off and just accumulate a heap of points. So that's my only concern around Presto.
Yep. Fair enough.
Although he's busy as well. If it's going to be a battle,
He gets a decent
he'll
amount
make a heap
work,
of tackles. There's just randomly some days he'll have like 5 runs. It's kind
There's
of
risk to him,
Yeah.
but there's upside and reward running a place to Lungy.
I'm not taking him, but like I get it.
Yeah.
He's the kind of bloke, any given week, he can do the job because he's that good.
Matty, back rower.
I don't hate kick out. I know he's probably wasn't going to play a few days ago, but if he's playing with Burton outside him at centre, I'd say Galvin will be the half on that side.
No one will touch him because I don't think many will touch him because of the injury. If he goes out there and he doesn't miss a beat in terms of his ability and output, huge. You'll have him nearly to yourself.
Yeah, so he's probably my second option to Hudson. It's just tough to go past Hudson. He's the best back. Him and Eli Katara are the best 2 back rows in the comp at the moment. And like, I don't know who third is, but it's not close. So it's just hard to go past form. Like we saw last week, all the big dogs scored all the points. So it's going to be really hard to go past Hudson. But yeah, I'm going to have a look at. I'm going to seriously consider kick out.
Yeah, I don't think I've got it in me to go Preston over Hudson. But if I run with this flex as I have it at the moment, I have them both in my team. And he's my little sort of flyer for the week. Half back. Nathan Cleary, second top scorer last week, 86 points. Jamal Fogarty, 87. Go down their list. Nicho Hines, 55 points. Look, it's between those 3 now. You're a hero last week, Spy. You went against Nathan Cleary. It didn't work for you. You're now ranked really well. You're within striking distance of the overall lead. Are you going to be a hero again and go against him or what?
No, they're not playing the Wilders this week, so I'll go Nath. Back in. You got the call up. I thought he kicked well. He's earned a reprieve on the side.
Well done. Could you consider Fogarty or Hines, or is it...
No, I think definitely. I think Hines could be a really good shout. Raiders can concede points. Hines could be in amongst it. Fogarty's an interesting one. He does have some big games in this year, so I considered him last week as well. 87, probably should have taken him. It was interesting. The start of the longer the week went on, it got to Cronulla and the Chooks Saturday night, and just started, I'm like, actually, I don't think there's going to be any points in this. And it sort of came to fruition. I was actually pretty stoked that Sammy Walker actually got to 45 in the end because that was a battle. It was good to watch. Nath, he's just shown his hands are on absolutely everything. And look, again, I'm going for the Raiders, so I don't want to be cheering on a chief playmaker against them. So that's where that comes in a little bit. But Hines could go well, absolutely.
Yeah. There's a few this week. And again, just the big dogs standing up last week did make me sit back a little bit and go, not that I went too outlandish with many of my selections, but I went against a couple of the big dogs, but just going big stage, best players normally equate to Supercoach points, Nathan Cleary.
And elimination final, which Penrith haven't always had. Obviously, come the prelims, that's true, but it's a week 2 knockout, so Cleary's just going to be going, like he's not going to take anything lying down, so he'll be in everything.
When you add in 3 times multiply captain 2 times, if he does come out and goes full Cleary mode and tons up and everyone, lots happening 3 times captain, and you've got Nicho or Jamal for 40, gone.
However, on the flip side, if Nath he's playing the Dogs, they can defend. If he comes out and gets 55,
could happen.
Nicho Tuns as your captain, you might be first. So that's where this game can be won.
Yeah. Fair.
You know, if I start poorly this weekend, it's the second game. I'm not taking Galvin. I was going to say I could flip my side, but there's only 2 games. It makes it pretty hard.
Yeah, it's not like Matty.
I won't be giving this any further thought. It's Cleary and it's captain.
Going Nath. 3 from 3 Nath. 5'8". Few options here. Yeah, a few options here. Matt Burton playing centre, don't love. Braden Trindle lit up last week. 2 outstanding tries. He still only scored 63 points. Don't love that. Ethan Strange, also outstanding, scored a great solo try, 61 points. Blaze Talangi, 44 points. Didn't do a lot in attack. Probably not a bad return realistically. Lockie Galvin up against Penrith. It's pretty wide open spot. I suspect Ethan Strange will be the most popular, but take your pick.
He gets out of 3 people.
That's narrowed it down.
Ethan Strange, Blaze Talangi and Matty Burton. Who am I going to take? That is the question. What do you reckon? Where are you going?
I'm going Ethan Strange. Look, every one of them can go big, every one of them can go low. I really want to own Blaze and just get excited about watching him, but I mean, not that this impacts my decision as much as it does yours, but really want the Doggies to win this. So I don't want to be going for Blaze to do stuff. But that being said, Blaze can go very low. They all can. Ethan Strange, he just... Not as much earlier on in the season, but particularly the back end there when the Raiders were playing big games and for the minor premiership and even finals last week, just running the ball a lot, burning desire, and he was running hard, taking the line on, he's just producing. So I think I'm going to go with Ethan Strange. Matty, what way are you leaning there?
I said the exact same thing about Ethan Strange last week.
Yeah.
He's got the hot hand. He scored... I think last week he'd scored 5 tries in the last 3 games. Well, he scored again this week, so it's 6 tries in the last 4. That includes a hat-trick. He's the best 6 in the comp at the moment, and he's just electric. So, yeah, I think it's funny. Week 2 of the finals, these are the games that kind of blow out sometimes. I don't think the Raiders are going to blow out the Sharks by any means, but I reckon there's a chance that Ricky Stewart could really galvanise this team off the back of what happened last week.
Yeah.
If they do win by 30 or 20 or 30, Ethan Strange is going to be the reason for that. So, or not the reason. They have so many attacking weapons, but he's going to have a huge part. So I think it's a very low-risk play to have Ethan Strange.
Give me shivers there, Matty.
Love that. Yeah, I agree.
Pre-origin.
I agree with you. For all the Raiders fans out there blowing up, they just got to get through Saturday night, and they're probably ahead of where they were. I actually love them against Melbourne in a prelim.
So do I.
So if they can just get through Saturday night, put it behind them, it's on for the Green Machine. Strange only ran it 4 times last week, which is very unusual. I did hear someone say he may have copped a head knock in the first half or something. Did that just... rattle him or something? Because 4 runs in that game of footy is very unusual. But you know what? On the back of what Matty said, he'd come out humming Saturday night. So, yeah, Strange or Geelongi, I'll decide closer.
Strange bandwagon for me, I think. And now we get to CT Dub, and here's where I'll roll out a couple of stats for you. I'll double down on them in a stat deep dive in Beers and Break-Evens tomorrow. But Cronulla, I'm basically looking at the weaker edges of each team this weekend, the 4 teams. So Cronulla's right edge concede 48% of all their tries compared to 31% off the left. So the bad edge, worse edge, Hines, Ramian and Katoa. So that'll be the left edge of the Raiders being Strange. Hudson Young, so 2 keys there.
Seb Crichton.
Could be Seb Crichton. Savalio Tamale. Canberra's right edge is the weaker one, and this is a substantially weaker one. Concede 52% of all their tries on the right compared to 38% on the left. Canberra's right edge is Strange, Timoko, Jed Stewart. They're sort of the major ones. Sharkies players to come into contention here. Braden Trindle, the man we just spoke about. He's getting dropped in your books, but Teague Wilton, KL Iro and Ronaldo Mulitalo, those 2 I have a very close eye on. The Bulldogs' regular right edge, this is a bit of a weird one, but Lockie Galvin, Stephen Crichton, Jacob Kiras, they concede 47% of all tries compared to 36% on the left side. Now, we suspect Bronson Sherry probably replaces Stephen Crichton. So that's going to be hard to sort of weigh out. There's different combinations. Burton on the other edge. Take your pick there a little bit. And Penrith...
And wouldn't Galvin move to the left as well?
Probably. Sexton plays right.
Sexton plays right.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all over the place.
Exactly. So don't read into the stats too much, is what I'm saying. Penrith, one to note as well. Penrith score 51% of tries down their left edge, significantly higher than their right edge, which is worth noting. And Penrith defensively, as I mentioned before, no particularly weaker edge there. It's about 44 and 42%. I do think the Doggies got Blaze Talangi though. So, having said all that, CT Dub, Spy, open slather. Jacob Kiraz, 87 last week. He had 20-something plus runs, 5 offloads there. Ronaldo Mulitalo scored a double for his 85. Kiraz finished with 87. Brian To'o, 72. Played on the left wing. Paul Alamotti was on the right wing. Casey McLean, 45 points, had a try to his name as well. No line break involved. KL Iro, who I mentioned. Jesse Ramian, Seb Chris. Who do you like?
KL Iro will always be in my Supercoach team moving forward whenever I can afford him. I can obviously afford him this week because there's no salary cap, so he's in. And I'm just thinking ahead to round 1 next year with Herbie. That's going to be hard to fit him in, but I might have to have them both. Plus I love Kiraz. Centre stack 2026. KL Iro is the answer. How's that tangent?
Do you think you can beat me next year, Spy, or are you giving up all hope?
Yeah, I've probably underestimated you late last year.
Did I dash your hopes the back end this year, mate? How have you recovered from that, speaking of?
I'm resilient, mate. I gave up with about 3 weeks left when Walsh put 400 on the Cowboys and everyone captained him.
Mate, I like Iro as well, and I've actually got him in my team. So funny you say that, because there's lots of very good options, especially 41 points last week. I think people have pretty short memories when they're looking at this. They go, I only scored 41, 22 runs, 19 tackles. Beast.
Wow. And was it last week or the week before? I'm sure it was last week he got held up with a bit of a miracle tackle as well. So that would have been another 30-odd.
And goes at that weaker edge of the Raiders, running at Matty Timoko as well. So a great opportunity there. So I like Iro. I think Brian To'o's a great option on the left wing as well. You could go Ronaldo Mulitalo if you want the tries. I mean, not say Iro. Iro scores a ton of tries too. And then Jacob Kiraz. He could be the one where we're just all overlooking. He's the best in the position. Matty?
I know we should be diverse, but I'm picking
Right?
Iro as well, just because like Sharks are going to direct all their traffic there. So there's just no reason for me not to pick Iro. He hasn't scored for a while, but like at the start of the year, he went on that crazy try scoring run. So yeah, Iro.
I was hoping there was going to be a bit more left field there, but
Iro was one of the first picks that I did.
shit.
Yeah.
It makes me want to change.
I've left out my second favourite player, but we'll get to him later.
On my sample size of 3, 100% of people have Kale Iro this week.
Interesting.
I don't like that.
Well, hopefully everyone else goes against us.
Yeah.
They might beat us by doing so. Maybe everyone else goes Mulitalo because maybe he scores all the tries. Like, that's the reality. We don't know who's going to score them, but
okay. All right, so yeah, if I was going number 2, it'd be Brian To'o into probably Ronaldo Mulitalo. Fullback. I don't think I've ever said this about Supercoach fullbacks. Bludger of a position.
I know.
I mean, bit harsh, but there's 2 games. Kyle Weeks, Connor Tracy, Dylan Edwards, Will Kennedy, and the rest who aren't playing. What do you reckon?
Dylan based 100 against the Dogs last time. Not taking Connor Tracy. Not saying he can't do well, but I'm not taking him. No way I'm taking Will Kennedy. What did Weeks score against the Sharks this year? Have they played him once or twice?
I think so. I do find
Have a look
when in doubt, I just want to see how they've gone against the opposition this year. I'd like to take a flyer on
32 in round 5.
Yep.
And the Raiders came back and won that very late from memory. That was the only game against the Sharkies.
Yeah, and I think Sharkies were nearly the best in the comp Supercoach was against fullbacks, which means it is Edwards.
Edwards 75 against them in Vegas and also only played them once. Yeah, I think Edwards too. You could absolutely take the flyer on Weeks. And as you said, Spy, we're predicting more points in that game than the Sunday game. Weeks could be in the thick of it. There was 2 tries last week in his 80-odd, what did we say? It was 80-odd points. I'm just with you. I think in the base and power that Edwards will get through in a big game, he hasn't looked necessarily at his best or, his natural self, but you look at those players, just go, who's the best fullback in Supercoach in that position? It's Dylan Edwards.
Yep.
Kicked a couple of goals late as well for Nathan Cleary, which is worth noting. Matty, you?
Boring. I'm going Weeks.
You're always going Weeks. The hot hand.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mate, I drafted in bloody Edwards in the last round of the year, and he got 30 points.
Redemption.
I'm off him. I'm off him.
Not redemption, yeah.
He's sacked until round 1 next year at least.
Sacked for life.
I'm again pretty much for the same reasons as Strange before. I'm putting my chips in the Raiders this week.
Flex. I currently have Preston and Hudson Young in my back row. Also Hudson Young in the flex, or one or the other. What do you think, Spy? A little CT dub, methinks. Jacob Kiraz.
Yeah, well, I was going to go but Kiraz isn't my side yet, and obviously I'm not going into the weekend without him, so he picks himself.
That all straight away scares me, which probably says it all.
Probably says you need him, so yep, he'll be busy. He'll probably have 30 runs and 5 offloads at the least, so there's no way I'm going into Sunday's game not owning Kiraz. I need to choose.
Is there any, I mean, you're not going to change your mind, but losing Stephen Crichton there, Bronson Sherry goes over to the right, Matty Burton probably command a fair bit of ball on the left with Viliami Kickout. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's a mortal blow, to be honest. I wish he was outside Stephen Crichton, but I'm really banking this on 26 runs, 4 or 5 offloads, tackle bust. If he bags a try, it's a bonus. There are a lot of centres though who I think are good, like a McLean, a Mulata. Mulitalo's interesting. I get the feeling he's not going to score this weekend. That's just my gut feel.
Despite going at that shit Raiders defensive edge.
Well, Iro might score him.
Hope so. Well, hope not, but
yeah, the centre's position.
Terms.
The centre's position is where I'd have a look at for some diversity if you're chasing it, or someone like Yo. Just you think Yo's just going to score his 70.
Between all those CT dub options, I guess you're throwing the flex, but I can't imagine anyone's going to be really more than 30-odd%. Like people go Ronnie, people go Iro, people go
it's wide
Toto,
open.
people, yeah.
So all that being said, if Yo can base 65, 70, I'd back Carraz to base nearly 60 anyway, with more chance of scoring a try. So get him in.
Matty.
I really want to put Hudson Young or Starling in, but I'm capped on Raiders players, unfortunately. So I'll probably not go a Shark. I've got a lot of players in that game. My instincts tell me that I'll probably go Toto, just because I know Kiraz will get a lot of points no matter what, but I think Penrith are going to flog him. So
I like the Toto play. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Interesting. Guys, fantasy rugby league betting is here thanks to our mates over at BetBuzz. Every position, 5 players per position, points for tackle bus, offloads, tries, and all the rest. You can multi them up as well. Last weekend, Joey Tarpany could not deliver. He was the value play in the forwards for mine. He went well, but shock, Payne Haas got the chocolates there, in no surprise to anyone. He's paying about $2. We went against the grain. We went for the value, and of course, Payne Haas got the job done on one leg for part of that as well. To check them out and follow our bets, head to the link in the show description or across our social channels later on in the week. Find BetBuzz in the App Store. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Boys, captaincy plans for the week. She's tough. Now, I suspect Nathan Cleary will be locked in for most people here. Spy, you mentioned the opportunity to maybe go elsewhere. Is that where you do it this week? What are you thinking?
I don't know if anyone else stands out is the issue. I think I'll probably captain Nath this week.
He's a clear standout.
There's no one that's really obvious. Edwards' form worries me. I would have probably had a look at Edwards otherwise.
If Edwards had shown a slither more, Edwards VC into Cleary C tempts me. The doggies can defend though, but Edwards doesn't look great.
I think I'm still might VC Edwards, just for work rate alone, and then he's obviously always a chance in attacking stat. Sunday Arvo in the day, double up. Back Penrith probably is never the worst plan. But in saying that, the doggies are playing some good footy. So
don't underestimate the wounded dudes.
Oh no, they're every chance.
Yeah.
They're every chance.
Even if they don't win, I'd expect to be pretty low scoring.
The Warriors nearly beat, they weren't far off last week, and the Wars are a long way from their best side and what the Dogs can do. So, yeah, anything could happen this weekend. That's why we love it. But at the moment, I'll probably lean the Penrith boys. Who else could you do? Maybe a Kiraz.
You go Hutto.
Hutto, Hutto Young could be one I'd go, actually. I might even VC Hutto Young Saturday night, but I'm going to just wait to see how I'm feeling come the weekend. I should be at a wedding Saturday night, which is not good. But it's shout out to Ellie Boller. Kuma wedding, and half the people there are Raiders fans. So
yeah, interesting.
We can see how this is unfolding. We'll hopefully get the speeches done a tad earlier.
They'll make sure that
girls on the dance floor, and every bloke will either find a telly or be all round the table.
And her brother's
on the phone.
world's biggest Raiders fan, so there's that too.
It could be an absolute cracker. We need the Raiders to get up for that. Could be an event, and then dance floor after Ellie. Don't worry.
Right.
Celebrate.
Rip Spy. All right, for myself, Nathan Cleary, captain, vice captain. Look, it's wide open. I've got Joe Tarpany at the moment just to lock in that save 65 to sort of 75. If you can jag some attack, maybe we get a 90 to 100. Relatively happy to play it safe there. But this Hudson Young chat's getting me up and about as well. That kind of excites me. Going at the weaker Sharks defensive edge. Dylan Edwards is one where, even if he does nothing, he probably gets 50 to 60. Any attack on top of that, if the Panthers do just light up and put on a bit of a score, tempts me, but as it stands, I've got Joe Tarpany, VC into Cleary C. Matty?
I'm going to captain Cleary. I just think he's the best finals player we've seen in years. So we saw it again on the weekend. He just shows up. He's ridiculous. Yeah. But I think we're going to have fun with my VC. I'm going to pick either Strange or Weeks. At this point, I'm probably going to go Weeks because I assume that less people will have him. So
for sure,
might just have a crack at that one.
Nice.
I'm thinking... it sounds so ridiculous in a 4-week competition, but just try and...
Save some trades?
Save some trades for the back. I'm just going to play could be the funniest thing Spider's ever said on this podcast. We've been doing it for about 5-6 years.
I've moved house and back. Yeah. The head is clear again.
Just going to play the long game and just wait till people can't field a team come grand final week, and I'll come zooming home.
Unload.
Just solidify a position this week. Hopefully up to that 4,000 or 5,000 mark. And then in those last 2 weeks where anything can happen, prelims, grand final, and then just throw a few curly ones there if I can get to about 4,000, which won't be that far off the lead. That's what I'm thinking.
I like strategy, can't argue.
Righty, guys, that'll do us for the SC Playbook podcast for NRL Finals Week 2. Spy, congrats on the joke, mate, and hope you're well.
Good comeback. Well done. Cheers, boys.
Thanks, Matty.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in.